Okay, so here I'm in a view. I'm just going to compare the ART and the use of the old NVIDIA materials. So in this one view, if I say render, my render setup, I'm showing ART renderer, draft quality, rendering out to this back left JPEG, the name of the file, render, okay, that's not it produced, that's an old one. It's going to write over this, and there it's producing the new one. I'm going to look at what it says for last frame so I can see how long exactly it took to create that. So I need to just click on render again, and then if I read it up there, 17 seconds. Okay, so I'll cancel out of that. Now what I'm going to do is change this to Arnold. I don't have physical materials on here. I've got the wrong materials, if you like, but I want to see if in rendering this, if it's faster. So if I bring up my folder here, there's the back left as it exists at the moment. And what I'm going to do is render again, but this time with the Arnold settings. So you see I don't have these materials. I'm just going with the same model. Faster for the default settings. But am I comparing like with like? It's hard to know. So was 18, it's now like 14. So we're definitely faster, but we're not really, this is not really a fully fleshed out model with physical materials in it. So that's one thing I wanted to compare. The next thing I wanted to compare is you can set this up in batch rendering. So what you've got here is the ability to save, add views, call them view 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you create them. Then you can tell it which camera you're looking at. You can tell it where to put the file. You can specify an override for resolution if you want to change the size. I changed them to 600 by 400. You can also save your settings and apply them to the view. That would include like where the file is created, things like that. So if I've got these views 1 through 4, let me see if I can bring this up just to show it. Let me get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is in here I'm going to say render, and then I'm going to bring up my, that's it, doing the rendering and creating the file. And if I bring up my folder here, what I can see is it's actually going to drop them in here when it's finished rendering them, because that was my destination folder. So this is going on in the background. So it was 17, 18 seconds to produce each, and these are very small in terms of their resolution. And I think the time saving is largely going to be on, can you make the setup a lot easier rather than, or as well as whatever gains you get through using Arnold for rendering. So I'm just showing these kind of dropping into the destination folder so I could start it off and then come back potentially, hours later and pick up the content that was available for me. So I did speed this up a little bit. That's not the actual time between producing it. Like I say, these were about 20 seconds each. And then the notion would be that I would have my content, and I've kind of automated the production a little bit to make it easier to see, what I've got.